Joel, what's it like to face a Bill Belichick defense?
Yeah, they're, always disciplined, always good. I feel like they're never going to beat themselves. And so for us, it's a big execution week, big understanding, what they're trying to throw at us. But they got some talented players, like Judon's playing out of his mind right now. They're all playing really well. I mean, they just came off a shutout. So they're going to be a real tough test for us.
And obviously, like you said, the players are very good, but like with that system, is it almost more preparing for the system than it is the players, or it's still the players?
Well, you got to know your players because you have matchups when you're run blocking, pass blocking. But they do run a lot of games. They do have a lot of blitzes. They have a lot of different fronts, again, that they can throw at us. And they'll probably have a flavor of the week, what they want to do to the Browns. So it's tough, but you do put in a little bit extra work this week because you know they're going to have something planned for us.
So, you always hear that Belichick tries to take away the other team's best guy, right? Well, I mean, that's for you, the running game. Can they do anything like schematically different than every other team that tries to stop the running game?
There's always something new. You can always, put someone down there. There's things. We'll kind of see how it goes, but I think every defense has that, 6-1 or the 5-3, 8 guys in the box with that extra safety hanging. And at that point, it's like Nick or Kareem's probably going to have to be the guy, one-on-one eventually, and we're going to have to execute our blocks. But, I'm sure they'll have a plan of attack for us, We'll see exactly what it is coming up.
Does it feel like you guys have had more success against those kinds of, those fronts or this year than maybe in the past year?
Yeah, we knew that the Chargers were going to come out with a few different heavy looks at us, and I think Coach Stefanski, AVP, Coach Callahan, all really put together a good plan if we did get those looks, because you never know. Sometimes in years past you don't know a defense is going to come out in a 6-1. You're not truly prepared for it, but our coaches have done a really good job of preparing us each week. What's the worst possible scenario?
You guys are so good at the point of attack up front. Just what has made you guys as a unit just so strong in that area, and in considering the amount of movement you guys have with the poles and that?
I think it's just there's a lot of work that goes into it. Coach Callahan's done a good job of really putting us in the right position, but it's reps. We practice all types of pulls and all types of schemes in practice. Guys work in the off season to try and get that, but they put us in a good position too. We're always in a good position to have a good angle or make our blocks. And I think we've been in this offense now for 3 years, most of us, post first year, but the rest of us have been here working together for 3 years. So I think we're really understanding like, hey, this is how Jed works or this is how Wyatt works, and we can kind of build off of that as well.
Hey Joel, there's plenty of times where it looks like a run by Nick is going to go for 4 or 5, and he kind of comes out the other side for 10 or 12. Are you even amazed sometimes at how he kind of is able to make the most out of those?
Yeah, he's pretty impressive. Some of those runs and broken tackles, missed tackles are pretty special stuff. Sometimes plays only block for 5 or 6 yards. He has to make a guy miss, and a lot of times he does make a guy miss. That first touchdown run was pretty impressive stuff. And the guys that he was doing that to are great players in this league. So it's impressive what he does, and he's just a fun guy to have back there to block for.
Does that make you guys block even harder for him when you? Not to say you wouldn't block
right.
for anyone, but like when you see him turn those small runs into big breakaways.
He always has a chance to break one away. So I think it's big for us to just like finish our blocks till the last second, because he can break an arm tackle or he can make one extra guy miss. And so if you can just stand your guy, finish a little bit longer, he has a great chance to break one.
Joel, you talked about Matthew Judon sort of playing out of his mind. What sets him apart? What makes him so good?
He's a really smart player. He's obviously the skill set, but he's very smart. They kind of give him freedom to pick and choose where he's going to rush, and he can read the way O-lines are blocking. So it's not always up the field all the time, because he'll come inside on these stunts, and even in base downs and early downs, he can kind of make a play there. But I think their rush is very coordinated, so they understand which way quarterback's rolling out and things of that nature, and they kind of force it to that area, and he's really capitalized on those opportunities.
Have you gone back and watched last year's game against them?
Yeah, I did.
Well, obviously, it's probably your guys' worst game of the year overall, but did they do stuff that either surprised you guys or showed some vulnerabilities that maybe nobody else found last year?
I know I watched it. I think, mostly to see scheme and see the guys we're playing against, you know. But I watched it, and that first drive was good. I thought we did what we wanted on that drive. We drove down there, got a touchdown, and then, you know, we kind of fell behind there, and then they started gaming it up. But we understand, like, they're a huge challenge. It was not a great game for us, you know, as an offense, as a whole team last year. And so we're going to be prepared for all those looks. But we just kind of fell behind, and then we started passing the ball a lot, and they started running games and blitzes and things like that. And once it kind of snowballed on you, it's a tough one. It was one of our, you know, worst games last year. But I think guys can look at player matchups, see how guys were rushing against you, see schemes that they were trying to run against us early in the game before we kind of got out of our system, and see what they'll do to us this year.
Joe, can getting blown out like that be, I mean, it's not only humbling, but can be positive in a way in that it makes guys reflect on, hey, you know, we can't let this happen again, or provide any kind of motivation?
You know, I think NFL is such a year-by-year business. We have so many guys that weren't even here last year, you know. But I think guys can look at it individually. You know, anytime we have a team that we play like last year or twice a year, I always love looking back and seeing, like, what was the pass rush? What were they trying to do? You know, what kind of schemes were they running? Because it gives you an idea of what they want to do to try and stop you. But I know the guys are hungry this week. We know the Patriots. We have a lot of respect for them and what Coach Belichick does over there. And we know it's a huge challenge. And, I mean, if you don't know that, you know it from, you know, the results last year.
When you look at Chubb, I mean, I know you probably saw that weightlifting video, but is he like more powerful, like lower body than you even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think running backs sometimes, like, are some of the strongest, for sure, pound for pound, but strongest guys on the team because, you know, they're getting hit every play. They got to really, you know, protect themselves. But, I mean, the way Chubb works and trains and handles his body is pretty impressive. I know I'm not squatting what he was doing in that video, so it's pretty impressive.